All right, Joe. So I'm excited and ready for this interview.
All right, let's dive right in. So tell me, what was that moment, that aha moment, when you realized the traditional work life wasn't for you? What made you want to step away from the typical 9 to 5 and find something different?
Oh man, that moment. So probably around 15 years ago, I was in a job for around 10 years. And at first, I loved the job. 100% commission. I worked harder and made more money, made my own schedule. I mean, it was, your dream job if you like to work hard and don't want to get paid by the hour. But about 5 years in, I think I was making around $70,000, doing around $1 million in sales. So fairly well for the home improvement industry that I was in because I did sales design. And all of a sudden, the boss wanted to have me sign a no compete form, so I couldn't leave. If I did leave, I couldn't compete with him in any industry, in the home improvement industry. And I would get rid of any commissions I had coming to me because commissions are always 6 months behind many times by the time the project was finished and everything. So um, that started to get really bad. So every year I was working harder to make the same or less. And then about 10 years in, he wanted to hire a sales manager to manage me. Now, I was the only sales guy the whole 10 years, besides the owner himself. And I built the whole sales program, really built his company from about $100,000 to $1 million a year in sales. Mostly myself. He obviously did some himself. He would cherry pick some of the best leads, being the owner he should. And so about 10 years in, I'm making 55,000, doing $1 million in sales. I was getting burned out. I was working my weekends, working my nights. It was just not ideal. I was miserable going to work, and I was miserable coming home from work. I was not my best self anymore, and I definitely wasn't enjoying myself. So one day he calls me up and says, "Oh, he doesn't sound like you want to work here anymore, because he then wanted me to start knocking on doors and stuff. The next thing I know, he wanted me just basically be a slave and forgo the open flexible scheduling that I had. He wanted to hire a sales manager to manage me and make my own schedule. So I knew at that point the money wasn't there like I wanted it to be. The flexibility wasn't there. I was basically had all the risks of a business owner without any of the upside potential. So one day I went in after a phone call within an hour and boom, just put all my stuff right on the floor. Very nicely, of course. And he asked me if I wanted to chat. I said sure. And I'd already made up my mind. And he basically was trying to call my bluff. He thought he had me where he wanted me and knew he could pretty much do what he wanted because he knew I couldn't go work for anyone else. At least not, technically without breaking my contract. He knew I wasn't going to get any further commission, so that's $10,000 he knew I would lose if I left the company. But I did it, and it was tough, but it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Man, that's intense. You basically built that company up and gave it everything you had, only to feel trapped by their terms. It's like they wanted all the benefits of your hard work without giving you any real freedom. So after you walked away, what did those first few months look like? Did you know what you wanted to do right away, or was it more of a journey to figure things out?
Luckily, I had a backup option. I had been in the fitness industry, really high-end competitor in the fitness industry, competing with some of the best in the world. And during the 10 years that I had been competing, I had been teaching myself how to feed the body, how to exercise, and then I had started, helping others do the same. And I wasn't even charging people when I started. I was just doing it out of the goodness of my heart because why not pass that knowledge along to other people, right? So after so many years of doing that, I grew a reputation of knowing how to help people lose weight, how to help people build their body, win competitions. I think I still probably have more competitors win the Mr. Kalamazoo than any other coach out there. I mean, I've helped so many over the years. So
that's amazing.
Thank you. And
so it sounds like fitness was always a passion, something you were deeply invested in, even while you were grinding away at the other job. And the way you started out by just helping people for the love of it. There's something real and genuine about that.
Well,
When you decided to make it your primary focus, was it a natural transition, or did you hit any roadblocks trying to turn that passion into a business?
oh man, so yeah, I mean, we've talked before, Joe, and you know my past. I grew up a skinny kid, dorky, no confidence. So for me, the working out built my confidence. It helped me build who I am today to get out of that skinny dork that was picked on every day. I had to get out of that mentality. So fitness for me helped me build that confidence. It helped me meet people, and so the hard part though about starting the business was you have to know how to build a website or have someone do it for you. You have to have a sales team or know how to do sales. You have to know how to do your accounting, your taxes, SEO, how to get leads, how to convert leads. I mean, to know everything going into business is very difficult, which is why I got so excited when I learned about the blueprint, because all the things that I needed to know to run a business that I had already tried to do on my own, and I didn't fail. I succeeded because I was able to work for myself, but I never got to the financial independence that I wanted with my fitness training business. And that's why the blueprint was such a huge thing that when I saw it, I knew I had to do it because I had all the things I needed to know instead of trying to be an expert myself.
Absolutely, man. It sounds like fitness was really your foundation, the thing that gave you confidence and set you on this path.
Absolutely.
But like you said, going from passion to a profitable business, it's a whole other beast. There's so much people don't see behind the scenes, right? The marketing, the website, the sales. It's like you're juggling 100 roles at once. So discovering the blueprint must have felt like finding a roadmap you've been searching for, a way to cut through all that trial and error. What was the first thing that clicked for you once you started with it? Was there a moment you realized, this is it, I found the missing piece?
Well, absolutely. Just because I've done multiple businesses over the last 15 years, Stag's Fitness being my main business, I knew that, if you could have a team of people, for example, doing and creating your business for you, right? You have the person who specializes in sales and the person who specializes in marketing and the person who specializes in website design. And if you have a team of people doing that for you, that's great, but that costs a ton of money that most people don't have to start a business. The blueprint is kind of like having that team of people there. On top of, with the blueprint, it's an interactive program. So I have a whole community of people and weekly mentoring by a self-made millionaire and other six-figure earners. So I'm always able to have the answers to the questions and have what I need to create an online business, or anyone to create an online business, very easily at your fingertips, because all the answers, or at least most of the answers, the majority of them, are in the blueprint for you.
That's huge. It's like the blueprint gave you that team you were missing. Those experts in every area you need without the massive costs that usually come with hiring them individually. Plus, having a community and mentorship from people who've been through it successfully, that's next level support. It's like having a safety net and a guide at the same time. How do you feel that access to mentors and a community has changed things for you compared to when you were trying to figure it all out solo?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, when you're figuring out solo, what's your best option? Call an expert and pay them, or search the internet and try to find someone who supposedly is an expert, right? Or free advice off YouTube, or, nowadays free advice off, Chat GPT, and try to put together what you think is going to work and hope you get it right. With the blueprint, I don't have to worry about that. I just simply follow the steps and then, learn weekly any changes that you need. Worst case, maybe ask someone within the community what they did in a situation. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out. And the crazy part is, and this is the crazy part to me, is just to have someone build a website, a good website for you, can be thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, as you know. And for the cost of the one-time fee to get into this program, and now I'm mentored weekly by a self-made millionaire, who answers the questions that we need to know. We're mentored by other six-figure earners, and it's always growing, and the education is always growing. The knowledge is always growing. It dumbfounds me for the price, the one-time fee, that I continue to get this week after week. Because any one cost, whether it's the website, paying a mentor, paying a business coach, any of these costs is typically more than just the cost to even invest into the program. It dumbfounds me. So for me to look at something that had so much upside potential, 6 or 7 figures easily, and such little investment, it's a no-brainer. Because even if I didn't make a dime ever off the actual program itself, if I didn't make a dime off the blueprint, just the initial investment, it's paid for itself back for the rest of my life with the knowledge I'm gaining and mentoring.
Man, that's powerful. It's like you've invested in a lifelong education, a support network, and the tools to actually implement it, all for less than you pay for a single big-ticket service like a website or business coach.
Absolutely.
And having that weekly mentorship from people who are already successful, that's not something you can really put a price tag on. It sounds like this setup lets you keep growing and adapting, even as things change in the business world. How has this ongoing education and mentorship influenced the way you approach new challenges or changes in your business?
Wow, well, it's a time saver. That's the big one. I mean, right? I mean, who doesn't want to work for themselves? Except for many times when you work for yourselves, you have huge amount of cost, huge amount of overhead, and you're trading that 9 to 5 grind for a sometimes even longer grind with your own business. Obviously, it's your business, so that's the upside. You have huge potential compared to the 9 to 5 grind, but not having to, worry about putting in all that time figuring things out is why we're able to put all our income generating activities within 2 hours. So working 2 hours to build a business and run a business versus, 8 hours, 10 hours, 20-hour days for some individuals year after year. That for me was the light bulb.
That's incredible. A true game changer. Most people think working for yourself means hustling even harder, sometimes burning out with those long hours. But here you are, able to condense all those income generating activities into just 2 hours. That's not just efficient, it's next level smart. So, how does it feel now, knowing you're building something sustainable without being chained to a massive workload?
It's
Feel
awesome.
like it's allowed you to really live life on your terms?
It really has. I mean, the fact that I've been a business owner for probably 15 years or around that time frame, I've already had a lot of time freedom. I've already, been able to, fish when I want, play sports when I want, spend time with my son, and be a stay-at-home dad with him. That was priceless, even with the other businesses that I was able to do. So I've already had success and had this time freedom. But this is, like I think you said, next level, because there's no other business out there that I've ever seen that has so much income potential where people are making 6 or even 7 figures with 2 hours a day. I mean, right? I mean, let's be honest. There's not many businesses that can provide that. So me having this extra time freedom, even more than I've ever had, has been life-changing because my son is 11 now. My stepkids are 10, 13, 14, and 20. Time is flying, and it's hard to be the best parent, be the best business owner, be the best spouse, and have time for yourself no matter what you're doing nowadays. So it's allowed me to be healthier. It's allowed me to spend more time and do more things with the ones I love, and I'm going to get back to doing some of my passions that I had to give up the last few years because I was so busy or broke because of all the crap that we've gone through the last few years between my injuries and a pandemic, a recession, and all that. So yeah, it's been life-changing.
Man, that's incredible. It's like you're getting to enjoy the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
You already had that time freedom, but now you're taking it even further, where you can fully invest in your family, and your passions. It's rare to find something that lets you be present as a dad, as a partner, and still gives you the financial upside that a lot of people only dream about. And I can only imagine how much those years of financial strain, injuries, and everything else just added to that urgency to find something sustainable. So with all the things you've reclaimed in your life, what's one thing you're most excited about bringing back into your routine?
Wow. Good question. Good question. Fishing's definitely one of them. I used to go once or twice a week, but with the rising cost of fuel, the rising cost of everything, the, the, the the time away from my family because I had to work more and do things. I had to kind of give that up. I couldn't justify going fishing when I could be spending time with my family. I couldn't justify going fishing as much when I need to be building my income back up. So that's probably one of the things I'm most excited about. On top of that, just more time freedom with my family because as they're getting older, my son's 11 now. He's got more practices, more sports, and other things to do. And when he was just a toddler, and I'm at home working on my laptop, and he's bouncing around in his bouncer, or hey daddy, look at this toy. I was able to work and do both. Now it's not dad, look at this toy. It's hey dad, take me to practice. Let's go play some football. Let's go run outside. Definitely takes more time to have that quality time. Not just time, but quality time with the people you love, and quality time doing the things you love. I don't want to go fishing and be stressed that I should be working. And that's where I was at my life. After the pandemic and shit went south, it was hard to justify doing the things I love when I need to be getting ahead.
Man, that really hits home. It's not just about having the time, but having guilt-free time to actually enjoy those moments, whether it's out on the lake or on the field with your son. That difference between being physically present and being mentally there too is huge. And it's clear that for you, this isn't just about freedom for the sake of it. It's about truly connecting with your family and getting back to those things that make you feel alive. So knowing what you know now and seeing how this shift has changed things, what would you say to someone who feels stuck? Maybe feeling like they'll never have that kind of balance.
I completely understand. I tell them that. Until a few years ago, I wouldn't have understood that because I've always gotten through things pretty easily. I quit a job within an hour of deciding I wanted to quit my job and had a business, and was starting that. But the last few years has been different. The last 4 years, I'd say, for sure, has been different. I mean, last 8 years, I've gone through a divorce. Last 4 years, I've gone through a pandemic, two major injuries, a third health issue I'm dealing with right now. So I went through deep, deep depression. I don't talk to many people about. A financial stress. I went through a lot of really rough stuff, and it it put me in a place I've never been, and I did feel stuck. And I had never felt stuck before in my life. Maybe as a kid, because I got picked on every day, I felt stuck. But at least I had a safe environment to go back to a home. And this last 4 years was just so difficult because at points I didn't know if I could find a way out. And I'd never been there before. And the blueprint and the 2-hour workday helped me for sure. And it's helping me. It's amazing what it has done for me. It hasn't made me rich yet. I'm not retired, but it's given me that hope, and it's given me, a purpose. It's given me something that has helped me get ahead.
Man, that's real. Going through that kind of heavy stuff, divorce, health issues, depression, financial pressure, that's a lot for anyone. And hearing that, even someone like you who's always been driven, confident, and resourceful, hit a place where it felt like there was no clear way out. It really resonates. It shows that it's not about how tough we are. Life can throw stuff at us that breaks us down. The blueprint and that 2-hour structure seem like they've done more than just give you a path to income. It's like they've reignited that spark and that purpose. For someone who might be in that dark place, struggling with the same feeling of being trapped, what would you tell them about finding that first step to start climbing out?
you got to take the first step, number one. To take the first step, you got to know where you're going, right? It's like a road trip. You can't just start driving and get to your destination. You have to know where your destination's at. And for me, I was struggling with where my destination was. I mean, I'm still doing my health and fitness business. I was still doing side businesses, but none of it was getting me the direction I needed to go. So for me, when I saw the blueprint and I saw that people are making money utilizing it, then I knew I could utilize it and make money, right? It's like buying a McDonald's. If you buy a McDonald's, you don't wonder if it's going to work, and you don't wonder what you have to do. You buy it, they have figured out a proven system, just like the blueprint. So it's a pretty good chance if you follow their systems and do what they say, you're not going to fail. That's why it's a done for you system that's proven. So when I saw that I had a proven system in front of me, like my friend Dale, when I saw it, I think I started when he was $9,000 in a couple weeks. Then he hit, 6 figures in 5 months. It works. And anyone who puts the time in, the 2 hours, and follows it, it works. So my advice to anyone is take the first step in the right direction, but you have to figure out what that direction is. Where are you heading to? And if you're unsure, you got to find something, right? A job will tell you where to go and what to do. So if you want a job, go look for the 9 to 5. But if you want a business, you got to have your business plan, right? Or you got to have your blueprint of how your business is going to go. So take the first step. That's it. But you have to know which direction you're going. So you have to have some type of plan in place. So find a plan and start taking that first step.
That's powerful advice. It's all about taking intentional action, not just wandering without a goal. Knowing your destination is everything. And that analogy of the blueprint being like a franchise system, it makes so much sense. It's a roadmap where you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to follow the steps that have worked for others. And it sounds like once you had that direction, you knew exactly where to put your energy. That's the kind of structure a lot of people need to pull themselves out of feeling lost. So now that you've found that direction and the plan is clear, what's next on your journey? What's the big vision moving forward?
Oh, the big vision moving forward. Good question. Well, so first off, it's to continue the 2 hour workday. I'm still learning every single day. I mean, that's part of the journey, right? No matter what business you're in, you have to be learning every day. Because if you're not learning, you're going to die, right? I mean, growth is everything. So I'm going to continue to build that. The nice thing about the blueprint is it also teaches you really how to start multiple online businesses, multiple income streams. Like I already have 4 income streams with the blueprint right now. My goal is to continue to add, income streams as we go. So, 10, 15, 20 different income streams so that when one, isn't performing as well, the other one should be. And outside of the blueprint and those income streams, I'm still investing, or I'm not really day trading much anymore. I'd like to get back to day trading, but right now I still have investments that I'm holding, crypto primarily, and so I'm waiting for those to hit a point. And then my goal is to take some of those profits out, recoup what I've invested. So if I put, let's say, $5,000 in, take $5,000 out, and reinvest that into something else, and utilize that to help me make more money, and then let some of that other investments grow and continue to be profitable. And then, see where the journey takes me. I still have my health and fitness business. I still enjoy helping people. I don't know if I want that to be my full-time career anymore. I'm kind of burned out after 20-some years of helping people. But I still like to help the people that like to help themselves.
That's a powerful plan. Keeping
Thank you.
yourself adaptable with multiple income streams and always learning. It's like you're building a safety net for whatever life throws at you.
Well, that's what the pandemic taught me.
Reinvesting in smart ways, like with crypto and other ventures. It sounds like you're setting yourself up for a future where you're not just financially stable, but have the freedom to pivot and explore new paths whenever you want.
I'm,
And with the health and fitness side, even if it's not a full-time thing anymore, it's great that you can still help people who are serious about their journey. So, with everything you've gone through and where you're heading, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned in this whole process?
well, man, the biggest lesson, that's a tough one because I'd like to say it's, have a backup plan, have multiple plans, but I've already been trying to do that for many, many years. So I guess the biggest lesson is make sure you have the right backup plan. So, because again, we never know what's going to happen, right? The pandemic taught us a lot of stuff. It taught us that the government can tell us at any given moment, don't leave your house. It tells us the government you can start a business, put $30,000 down, and the next day they can tell you don't run your business, and you just lose that money. So my biggest lesson, definitely after the pandemic, is find a way to be in control of your destiny. Because a 9 to 5, you're not in control. They can fire you, they can lay you off, they can do anything they want to you, really. Working for anyone, that's the case. If you have a business that's brick and mortar, man, you run into some issues with that. They can tell you to close your doors. They can tell you how to operate your business. So for me, it's finding ways to invest your money that the government has a hard time touching. Now, let's be honest. Certain politicians want to really tax the crap out of crypto and other investments, right? They don't want to keep you from getting ahead, or they want to keep you from getting ahead. But an online business with digital products, it's very difficult. You don't have to worry about storing products. You don't have to worry about managing products or buying products or overhead. And you can have your products sent to people instantly so that people can have their product. And an online business, being able to work from home or work from anywhere. The other day, I was working from my boat while I was fishing. It was awesome. I was able to work from my phone. I was able to even jump on a live while I'm catching monster sturgeon. That's how life should be. Life should be where people can live their life by their terms, not by someone else's. And that's my biggest lesson. I want to live life by my terms. And I didn't realize till the pandemic how much control the government actually had. I knew they could control us. I didn't realize that was an option where they can literally say, no, you can't take your boat fishing, even if there's no one around. You can't go and run your business because we say no. You must stay home and collect a paycheck from us that doesn't pay the bills. So taking control of your destiny and having that flexibility, that's what I want out of life. And that's what everyone, I think, wants out of life. But no one knows how to get it because, it's become difficult. It's not like it used to be.
That's incredibly powerful, and honestly, it's a lesson so many of us needed to learn but didn't see coming until the pandemic. Control over your own destiny. It's something we all want, but it's not easy to come by. And hearing how you've structured your life now with digital products and online business and the ability to work anywhere, it's inspiring. It's a way to live life truly on your own terms without relying on anyone else's rules. So for anyone listening who feels like they're trapped, like they're at the mercy of outside forces, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to start shifting toward that kind of freedom?
Wow. I'd like to say, hey, get the blueprint because it's going to tell you what to do. It's going to give you the steps, going to give you the knowledge. You can do it in 2 hours. You can help it, create your own online business. You can help it market your existing business. And you can have the master resale rights to market the blueprint and make money almost instantly. But outside of that, what I would tell someone is to find a way to work for yourself and make it online. That way, you have as much control as possible over all the outside factors that we're dealing with. Is that easy? No. That's how I started my Stags Fitness business. I literally went out there, started online coaching, stopped training anyone in a physical location because the money wasn't there and there's only 24 hours in the day. So what? 24 people in a day I can train? That's if I don't sleep, eat, or do anything else, right? So I knew I had to automate my business. So you need to find a way to do an online business and automate it. Because if you automate your business like I have, I can work 2 hours a day, and while I'm sleeping, while I'm fishing, while I'm shooting hoops, I can be getting paid because my systems are set up in automation. So really, I guess to answer your question, automation.
Automation, that's the key, isn't it? It's like setting yourself up so that your business works even when you're not. And what you've built sounds like the ultimate example of that, where you're not just grinding for every dollar, but you've structured things to earn passively, giving you freedom in the truest sense. For someone just starting out, automation might sound intimidating, like a complicated tech setup. What would you say to make that first step feel doable, even if they're totally new to online business?
Wow, I mean, without a blueprint that has it all set up for you. That's a beautiful. I hate to keep going back to the blueprint, but that's why I got so excited, and that's why I'm utilizing the blueprint, because all the tech was set up for you. I didn't have to set up my website. I didn't have to set up my funnel systems, my capture pages, my landing pages. I didn't have to set any of that up. I didn't have to do the copy. It was all done for me. So if you have a blueprint that can set up for you without the tech, that's the way to do it. If not, start Googling, start talking to Chat GPT, and start asking lots of questions to figure that out. You can do it. Anyone out there can do it, but you have to know the right questions to ask, and you have to do a lot of research. There's a lot of time to invest to automate your systems. It's not hard to do if you know what you're doing. But if you knew what you were doing, you probably already have an automated system. I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't never completely automated Stag's Fitness. I had automation set up, but I didn't have a lot of the tech that I wanted set up. So I had to figure it out and kind of, half-ass it, or, not have it set up exactly like I needed it to be. So to really get your automation set up, because it sounds intimidating, and it can be. I'm a tech idiot. So for me, I hate tech. I mean, I like it when it works, but I don't like it when I have to figure it out. So having it set up for you is definitely the best way to go. But finding an expert, I would say, be a second choice. Find someone who knows what they're doing and have them set it up for you. Of course, that's probably going to cost you more than it costs to even buy the blueprint. So again, I hate to go back to it, but it is what it is, guys. The blueprint is really, it saves so much time. The tech is set up for you. You don't really have to do the tech. All you got to do is you copy and paste. Copy your website into the tech, right? Copy your payment systems into the tech. You don't have to set up your websites or anything. It's all done for you. And that's the beautiful part.
That's incredibly clear, man. For so many people, it's that tech setup that holds them back, knowing they have to figure out websites, funnels, payment systems. It's just overwhelming. But having it all set up, just ready for you to plug in and go, that's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do a new website for Stag's Fitness right now.
The right questions to ask if you're going it alone. There's so much info out there, but if you don't know where to start, it can feel impossible. So with the blueprint handling the heavy lifting on the tech side, you're able to focus on what really matters to you, connecting with people, building those income streams, and enjoying the life you've worked so hard to create. It sounds like you've truly found your sweet spot. Would you say there's anything else you'd want people to understand about this journey? Something that you think they might overlook if they're just starting out?
Well, there's so much to overlook when you're starting out. I mean, again, and that's why it's so overwhelming. That's why so many people don't start their own business. That's why so many people stick to that 9-to-5 grind. I mean, I got to build a website for Stag's Fitness right now, so I wish someone had a blueprint for my fitness business and I could just copy and paste it, right? It's not going to be that difficult, because nowadays, websites aren't that difficult to set up, especially if you've done it before like I have. But it's still going to take me probably a day or two to create a new website for my fitness business. That has to be done. So, it's, again, having a given blueprint helps tremendously. So the best thing,
With experience, building a business from scratch takes time, focus, and a lot of different skills. It's no wonder so many people stick to that 9-to-5 just because the startup process seems so daunting. The convenience of a plug-and-play system really takes away that overwhelming barrier and lets you jump straight into what you're passionate about. And even though you know the ins and outs of setting up a website now, there's something powerful about just having that part already handled so you can spend your energy on the things that actually drive growth and fulfillment.
Well, absolutely, because it's not just
It sounds
setting.
like having that blueprint option is really about freedom, not just in how you work, but also in giving you back control of your time and focus.
Yeah.
So as you continue building your life with this approach, what excites you most about the future?
Man, the potential. I knew when I started Stags Fitness that I didn't know, but I didn't believe I was going to get rich off it. It's a possibility, but, it's the fitness business. It is what it is. It's very difficult to train people in person and get rich. It's very difficult, to really get rich off a fitness business, but it can be done. But again, usually you're hiring teams of people, you're hiring business coaches, you're, spending maybe tens of thousands on a business coach. I know our mentor within the blueprint, she spent 36,000 one year when she was creating everything on a business coach, on a mentoring coach, 36,000 for that. I mean, that's just, and she says it was worth it. 36,000 was worth it because it took her to 7 figures. So it's not how much money does it cost, it's how much money are you losing by not paying the right people. So I even forgot your question at this point, so please repeat it.
Totally, I get where you're coming from. The question was about what excites you most about the future.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you nailed it with that idea of potential. You've got this new avenue where the ceiling is so much higher, and the path to get there doesn't require that huge upfront cost like a $36,000 business coach. It's about maximizing every dollar and hour invested and knowing that you're set up for real growth. So with this sense of unlimited potential, do you see yourself branching out in other ways? Or is the plan to keep stacking income streams within the blueprint system?
As of right now, it's just to stack the income streams, because if you can automate your businesses and that's the key, it's automate my income streams. I'm not going to go out there and get 5 jobs and say I have 5 income streams. I'm going to create 5 online income streams, right? Instead of getting 5 jobs. And I'm going to automate those income streams. It's like the blueprint. The blueprint has 4 of them. So right now, someone could be purchasing one of my 4 income streams, and I wouldn't even know it until I check my email and say, oh, I got a notification. You've made a $900 sale, right? On top of that potential, because we already have 7-figure earners that have utilized the blueprint, and we have a ton of 6-figure earners. Every 90 days, we do these, we call them their 90-day runs, right? Where we all focus for 90 days at a time. We all help each other. And we've never not had people make 6 figures in 90 days. So it's happening every 90 days, right? So we know it's there. We know it's proven. We know it's going to work. So once these businesses and these income streams start providing me enough of an income, I want to start day trading again this way. Because first rule, day trading, don't use money that you can't afford to lose. And right now, I don't have the money to throw into the market, especially as volatile as it may be coming up here between a recession and everything. So until I have that extra cash floating around, an extra 10 grand here that I can put into the market, I don't want to get back into day trading or invest even holding long term right now. Just because of the uncertainties of this recession, the election's obviously over, so there's still some uncertainties in what's going to happen. The markets are going incredibly great right now, but I still feel a recession is going to hit us hard here. So I'd like to get back into day trading, possibly maybe real estate. I mean, there's so many different avenues to do if you have money. And that's the key. You got to have money to make money. And that was one of the other things that excited me about the blueprint was there is no overhead, there's no monthly cost. There was a very small one-time investment, and now I have everything that I need. So that's the other key that I would tell someone is if you're looking at starting a business, watch for overhead, because overhead can kill you. I mean, shoot, my girlfriend's photography business, she's got a studio that she has to pay every single month, whether a pandemic happens or not. When we started that photography studio, it was the pandemic. We had put, I think, 10 or 15,000 into it. We're paying a monthly rent on a studio, and we could not utilize it. We could not make money off it. So we were losing money month after month after month. So if you can find a way not to have overhead and not to have a physical location and do an online business with, automation and passive income, that's the secret. It really is. And especially with who knows what's going to happen, if we're going to have another pandemic or a recession or who knows. I mean, it's scary how little control most of us have over our lives.
Absolutely. You're hitting the nail on the head. Like, keeping overhead low and staying away from the weight of physical locations, that's where true freedom lies. You're not just adding income streams, you're creating a structure that can withstand anything life throws at it. Recessions, pandemics, all of it. And that's smart, especially in such uncertain times. With the blueprint giving you those automated passive income streams, you're not only avoiding risk, but you're also setting yourself up for growth without the usual baggage. And I can see why you want to use that stability to fuel other investments like day trading or real estate when the time is right. It's like you're building this fortress of financial freedom, layer by layer. So, last question. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice at the very start of your journey, what would you say?
Well, if you're talking about the start of my working for myself journey, it would be to automate your business, which I learned very quickly how to automate and take my fitness business online. So, I did try the hands-on training and stuff, and I was never a fan of it for multiple reasons. So find a way to automate your business, because if you and also not just automate, but have different income streams. If you look at any successful person out there, they have found a way to automate their businesses, and they have usually, and they have found a way for multiple streams, because you never know, right? Let's just say tomorrow we have a deflationary depression and things just crash. It's going to hurt everyone, right? But if you own real estate, you might really be hurting, right? Because the prices have jumped. Maybe you're underwater on your loans and everything, and maybe you don't have anyone that is able to rent your buildings, right, or whatever your model is set up for. There's so many ways that you're not in control of your life, even when you own a business. So my best advice is have a plan. You got to have a plan. If you're just winging it, you're going to fail. You got to have a plan. You got to have goals. You definitely need to automate your business. That's the best thing for time freedom. That way you can have passive income coming in. I would also say 100% profit. I did multiple businesses back in the day where I only got a small chunk, 10 or 15%, right? Or even 25%. Why, when you can get 100% profit on the products that you're selling or the services that you're selling? Why take a small chunk when you can have a big chunk, right? I mean, why would I sell protein shakes, even if they're the best protein shakes in the world, and make a small percent and then have, someone else making the bigger percent, when I could easily have a $900 sale, someone's interested in the blueprint and our interactive program, and I get 100% profit. I got to sell a lot of protein shakes or even a lot of fitness plans to make what I can make off of one $900 sale. And right now, for every 24 people that check out what I'm doing and that need what I'm doing, I make $900 on average. Those are phenomenal numbers.
That's solid wisdom. Automation, multiple streams, and making sure you're getting the full value of your work. I love that perspective on profit margins too. Why take a sliver when you can keep the whole pie, especially when you're putting in the time and effort? Those numbers you're seeing averaging $900 for every 24 people, that's the kind of return that really opens up possibilities for growth and freedom. And with that kind of setup, you're not just building a business, you're building a sustainable, resilient lifestyle that's adaptable no matter what comes your way. Thanks for sharing that insight. It's practical, straightforward, and something anyone can aim for. This has been an awesome conversation, man, and I think a lot of people are going to find real inspiration in what you've shared here. Whenever you're ready to wrap up or keep the conversation going, just let me know.
Well, Joe, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm 44, almost 45 next week, I think. I don't really celebrate birthdays anymore, but I've learned a lot over the years, and I knew from a very young age I didn't really want to work for someone. So I've always been an entrepreneur in my mind. It just took a lot to get me there. I've done research over the years on real estate, on investing. I did the home improvement thing. I've done sales for multiple different things, so I've been around. And if I knew back then what I knew now, I'd be so much further ahead in life, right? I mean, just even with the blueprint, I was profitable within 2 weeks. What business are you profitable within 2 weeks? I've seen people profitable within an hour. It's ridiculous the opportunities that we have nowadays. And for anyone out there who's watching this and listening, you don't have to do the blueprint to have success. But you do need to take that step out of that 9 to 5 grind, unless that 9 to 5 grind is what you want. And that's okay. Some people have a job that they love and they go every day. It's stress-free for them, and they're doing what they want to do. But for most people, as you know, Joe, they're not happy. They're not happy coming home. They're not happy going to work. They want more out of life. The 9 to 5 isn't providing that. So if it's not providing it, find something that you can do. And I truly believe nowadays it's the online business. Find an online business. And I'm not talking about having to do multi-level marketing or build teams of people. Sure, that's an option still. I think it's an outdated option in my opinion. It's not as profitable, and everyone thinks that it's a get-rich-quick scheme nowadays. And a lot of them are. They're let's make some money real quick off friends and family. I didn't want to chase friends or family. I just want an online business and multiple income streams where I can work when I want to work, and I have huge upside potential without any monthly costs. And you know what? Money doesn't buy happiness, but time freedom definitely makes you happier. And typically you need some money to have time freedom, because if you have to work a 9 to 5 to pay your bills, where's your time coming from? So you have to find a way to maximize.
Well said.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You've gathered so much wisdom from your journey, and it's clear you've carved out a path that aligns with the life you want. The fact that the blueprint has allowed you to be profitable so quickly, it's almost unheard of in most businesses. And you're right. Not everyone has to walk away from the 9 to 5, but for those who feel unfulfilled, taking that step into an online business could be life-changing. It's inspiring to hear that you're creating a system that doesn't rely on pressuring friends or family and focuses on real, sustainable income streams. This approach is exactly what a lot of people are looking for. Thanks for sharing your insights with everyone today.
No.
This has been incredible, and I know you're going to motivate a lot of people to think about their next step.
Well, I hope so, Joe. And I mean, that's my goal. And that's really all our goal is with the blueprint and with the income streams that I'm doing is it's, we don't chase friends or family. We just create content like this right here where you're having a conversation with someone or you're sharing some wisdom and knowledge and getting that content and attracting people to our content. And then someone hopefully will watch this and they will be like, wow, I didn't know that was possible. They look into what we're doing, and if it's for them, then maybe it could change their life. One of my goals is to help 100 people become six-figure earners. And how do you do that, right? How do you create a way for others to benefit from what you're doing? So when someone purchases the blueprint from me, we all win because they're getting something that they need in their life. And I'm getting a paycheck, 100% profit paycheck that comes right to me. So it's a win-win for everyone. So one of my goals is helping 100 people make six figures. At least then I've done something else in my life, right? I mean, I've done a lot of things. I've helped people get healthy. I've probably saved some people's lives with my Stags Fitness. But it isn't providing me what I need out of life anymore. So I had to start doing something else. And for me, I have too much integrity to do anything that isn't on the up and too much integrity to do a lot of things. And there's nothing wrong with a lot of these other businesses people are doing. But I didn't want to have to chase people. I didn't want to have to knock door to door, cold call people, or chase anyone. So when I found a way to attract people to me by simply sharing wisdom, sharing knowledge, and getting the word out to people that there's another way, I mean, again, the light bulb went off. It's a win-win for everyone. And even if I didn't make another dime doing what we're doing here, the knowledge that I've learned, I can utilize to help build any business that I have. And I have the mentoring weekly by a self-made millionaire. I have mentoring by six-figure earners. And I don't have to pay a dime ever again for any of it. It just boggles my mind. And that's why I got so excited about it. And that's why I'm going to continue to do it. Because, you know, this attraction marketing, digital marketing, whatever you want to call it, is not going anywhere. People aren't going to be using newspapers and, you know, mailers and everything else like they used to. You know, everyone is using social media. What, 5.5 billion people or something? Social media is where it's at. You just have to learn how to utilize social media properly to get the word out to your perfect customer. And so, yeah, Joe, I appreciate everything. I'm probably going to wrap this up. And, yeah, if you got any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I really appreciate the time today.
That's an incredible mission, helping